Hi, I'm John, driving instructor, Car Driving School, Oxford. Thanks for watching my videos and supporting. Today I'm going to discuss about show me and tell me questions. Show me and tell me questions are the part of your driving test. Before they start the practical driving test, they may ask you a few questions regarding your car safety. There are a lot of questions available in online in DVSA sites, 20 plus questions, and out of that, 2 or 3 questions they may ask you. One, 2 questions on the car, and one maybe on the road when you're driving. So, show me means you have to show that, tell me means you have to tell what is that and this. So, I'm going to discuss about that question and the solution for that in a short way. Okay, so let us go for workshop. Okay, the show me, tell me questions are the part of your driving test before you start the practical driving test. So the questions, sometimes if you cannot answer properly for that questions, you don't worry about that. You are not going to fail. They will mark as a minor mark only. But as a good driver, you should know what are the questions and answer related to your safety questions for your car. Okay, now let us start. So the first question, how do you know the brake's not working? So the simple answer, start the engine and move off. When you're pressing the brake, it should not be spongy effect or slack. And if the car is pulling left or right while braking, it means the brake is not working. Second question, where do you will find the information's recommended tire pressure and how do you use it? Answer, the recommended tire pressure you can get in manufacturer's manual and it should be checked by a reliable pressure gauge. Third question, how do you know the head restraint adjusted correctly and what for it? The head restraint should be at the level of your head and covering ears. And it is for protecting your head and neck in case of collision at the back. Fourth question, how do you know the tires good condition and what requirement you need for the tires? Answer, walk around and see whether it is good or if there is any cut or bulges. It should not be any cut or bulges before you're traveling. And the thread should be at least 1.6 millimeter. Fifth question, how do you know the headlight and tail lights working? Answer, just ignition on or start the engine and switch on the relevant switches and walk around and look whether it is working or not. Question number 6, what is ABS? How do you know that it is fitted in your car and what for? Answer, ABS is anti-lock braking system. It will show in control panel if it is fitted in your car when ignition on. It is to prevent locking the wheel when you harsh brake. Question number 7, tell me, how do you know that the indication or direction lights working or not? Answer, just start the engine or ignition on and switch on the relevant switches and walk around and see. Question number 8, how do you know that the brake light not working? Answer, just ignition on or engine on, apply the brake, ask someone to help or any reflection on the mirror. Answer the simple way. Question number 9, tell me, how do you know the power steering is not working? Answer, start engine and slightly move off the car and steer it. If it is feeling heavy to steer, so it is not working. Or the car may be pulling left right when you steering. Question number 10. Show me where is your fog light, or how do you operate the fog light, and when do you want to use. So ignition on and relevant switches on. That means the fog light switch on, and it will show in control panel if it is on. Remember, before you turning on the fog light, you need the headlight on. Then only it will work most of the car. So if it is showing in control panel, the fog light is there, you can see. And the fog light is using when the visibility is less than 100 meter in the foggy situation. But if you using fog light without any reason, that will be illegal. Question number 11. Tell me, how do you operate the high beam or the main beam or the headlights or both of that? The answer, start the engine or ignition on and switch on the relevant switches, main beam or the dipped headlight. It will show in control panel if it is on. Remember, for main beam or the high beam, if you want, the headlight should be on. So question number 12. Open the bonnet and show me how do you check your engine oil. That is happening outside the car. Before you getting into the car, they may ask you, open the bonnet and show so and so things inside. So how do you check the engine oil? You need to show taking the dipstick and wipe it and put it inside again and take it out and measure. The measurement should be minimum, in between minimum and maximum, or low and high. The same 2-3 questions are there in the bonnet when you opening. How do you check the brake fluid and how do you measure? So the brake fluid, you need to show that is the brake fluid, and the measurement will be minimum and maximum. Just look visible. So another questions, they may ask you, how do you measure the coolant reservoir and where is that? So you have to point where is the coolant reservoir, and the measurement will be the minimum and maximum. 3 or 4 questions in there. After the bonnet open, they may ask you. So 1, how do you check the engine oil, and where is the brake fluid and how do you measure, and where is the coolant reservoir and how do you measure it, and where is the water for wiper and how do you measure it. So for water for wiper, you don't want looking for minimum and maximum. There is no minimum and maximum. Just open the lid and see whether there is enough water in the windscreen wiper. So these are the 4 questions that may ask you. Open the bonnet and tell something. So just a point really, don't touch the engine or in any part of the engine side, because the car may be in a hot. Number 15. In that, they may ask you on the road when you're driving, if it is safe to do so. If it is not safe, better don't do. So normally they may ask you, what's the windscreen, front windscreen on the road? So while driving itself, you may be driving in a 50 or 60 mile road. That time they may ask you to do if it is safe. Otherwise, if it is not safe, better don't do. So you should know where is located that. And they may ask you another questions, where is the demister switch, and or how do you control the demister, the rear window or the front window? And they may ask you, open the window and shut while driving itself. And they may ask you, operate the horn when you're driving. So these are the normal questions on driving, but they may ask you only one question on driving. And if you did not answer, don't worry, that is only minor mark. And before you start, 2 questions they may ask you, 2 or 3 questions they may ask you. And if you did not answer properly, you don't worry as well. But as a good driver, make sure most of the questions you answer or you should know that the safety questions for your car. I hope you understand better today, and if you understand, please subscribe this page and like. Remember, knowledge is your power. Thank you very much.